How's it going, everybody? This is the treatment group video for obsessive compulsive related disorders. My name is Ryan Bell, and my client's name is Elisa Howard, and she is 21 years old. For the differential diagnosis, there is only one, and it is trichotillomania. And since there's only one, therefore we ruled in trichotillomania. For the primary diagnostic features, there are two. The first one is increasing sense of tension results in hair pulling. And the second one is sense of gratification or pleasure results from hair pulling. And for Elisa's story, like I said, she's 21 years old, and her problem is that she compulsively pulls her hair out, and that she thinks this behavior is unique to her, and that nobody else in the world is like this except for her. It began when she was 14 years old. She started pulling out the hair in her eyebrows. And then it progressed to her eyelashes, and then finally to her head. And now she has half-dollar-sized bald patches all over her head. And about a year ago, she had a particularly bad experience, which left her almost completely bald. Unfortunately, her parents are highly critical of her and her habit, and instead of getting her help, they frequently make derogatory comments to her. And this only makes Elisa feel all the more isolated and freakish, and reinforces her belief that she is the only person who has this problem. She describes life as strategic grooming, which enables her to keep her problem a secret. During the day, she is able to resist hair pulling, and then when she's out of the house, she'll wear hair pieces or scarves or hats to help hide her bald spots. And she lives in constant fear that her secret will be exposed and that everyone will see her and perceive her as a freak. Her typical hair pulling pattern begins in the morning when she wakes up. She'll lie in bed for about 15 minutes, and prior to getting up, she'll have a short hair pulling session. And then usually in the evening, when she sits down to watch TV, she begins to feel the urge to start pulling her hair again. She describes noticing at some point that she has, without conscious thought, begun twirling individual pieces of hair between her fingers. Once she becomes aware of this, she'll start inspecting individual pieces of hair and find just the right one, and then gently tug on it until it's completely out. And this behavior continues on without much thought until she finally notices a sizable pile of hair gathering next to her. At this point, feelings of shame and guilt flood her, and she makes a strenuous effort to stop her hair pulling ritual. On good days, she's able to stop pulling hair after about a half hour. And then on bad days, it'll last for a couple hours until bedtime. And she finally sought for help when she was watching the Oprah Winfrey show one day. There was an episode that was about people who had a hair pulling disorder. And this changed Elisa's way of thinking. She began to feel a sense of relief that she was in fact not the only person who had this problem. And this led to her calling a therapist and making an appointment. For the multi-axial diagnosis, axis 1 is trichotillomania. Axes 2, 3, and 4 are going to be none. And then for axis 5, her GAF score is 80. And then lastly, the theoretical perspectives, there's going to be two of them. The first one is the biological perspective. There's going to be a neurotransmitter imbalance in individuals with trichotillomania. Deficits of serotonin and secretion of dopamine may play a role in the compulsive hair pulling behaviors found in this disorder. Genetic predisposition has also been found in this disorder. It is believed that those who are genetically predisposed are more likely to manifest the disorder when certain environmental stressors are present, which serves to trigger hair pulling symptoms. And then lastly, the behavioral perspective. Trichotillomania may develop as a result of a learned association between the act of hair pulling and the relief, pleasure, or gratification that comes after engaging in this behavior. In Elisa's case, she discovers that pulling the hair out of one by one from her scalp helps to relieve her feelings of stress. As a result, she is operantly conditioned. Each time she engages in hair pulling, she experiences a lessening of her feelings of stress, thereby negatively reinforcing her hair pulling behavior. Additionally, she experiences a sense of pleasure or gratification from her hair pulling activities. This behavior would also be positively reinforced.